Hello and welcome to Rule of Three's video review for Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor from Monolith Productions and Warner Brothers Interactive. So this is a non-canon Lord of the Rings game that takes place obviously in the area of Mordor and is a very good game despite it not being canon and being pretty much Batman and Assassin's Creed rolled up into a nice little game. They did a wonderful job with the story, and the gameplay is also really fun. So the story of Shadow of Mordor is you follow Talon, a former Gondor ranger who dies and is brought back to life by an unknown wraith who is also seeking his revenge on Sauron and his minions. Talon then sets off to find a man known as the Black Hand of Sauron for killing his family and take his revenge. And you go on an adventure and do a bunch of stuff. And on the whole, the story's actually really good. The ending is a little kind of meh, as well as the lead villain of the Black Hand is... I didn't really get a feel for him, and even when he does finally show up, I still don't quite understand his real intent. But this overall story is good, but like the ending payoff just I don't think was as good as it should have been. So as I said in the opening, this game combines the Assassin's Creed and Batman Arkham Asylum systems and a couple of tweaks them a little bit. I'm going to start off with what I consider to be the Assassin's Creed stuff, which is open world exploration and how the game actually works. So it's a big open map, and you go to you can explore, and there are these towers that you can go climb to the top, and then basically do eagle's vision to see all of the collectibles and things in that area, as well as where missions are. And these missions you can go to and are usually assassination missions. Is you have to go and kill certain orc. If it's story, and there's also a nemesis system that works also with the different orc captains and war chiefs, which I'll go into in a minute. Anyway, you do those missions and you level up. You use these levels to increase what abilities you have as well as your basic stats. As I said earlier, there's also a nemesis system, so you can mark your target for death out of like 20 orc captains and a couple of war chiefs. And you have to kill them. Now, some of these orcs are tougher than others based on rank, because they're all captains, but like there's a hierarchy in it. And depending on how their power level is, depends on what bonuses they have. Some of them have only a couple of weaknesses and a bunch of strengths, while a bunch have tons and tons of really easily exploitable weaknesses and a couple of negatives to them. That system's fine. I actually like that. None of the orcs really play the same, while they do have the same strength and weaknesses. All the different orcs I ran into were completely different, had kind of a unique personality, said different things, and it was actually really cool. The other cool things with the orc captains is there's also infighting. So every time you die or pass the time, it'll go to the orcs where all the orcs are, and it'll show kind of the power struggles that are going on. So, there might be a duel between two orcs and one gets killed. There might be an ambush where one runs off and, loses a bit of his power while the other one gains power. And it's a cool little interaction just within that, just watching the politics of the orcs in the game. And I enjoyed watching that and kind of messing with it and trying to, kill off different captains before they got any more power. And the other cool thing is if a orc kills you who's not a captain, he will become a captain most likely. They will, once again, I'll go to that screen, and that orc will either gain a spot in the ranks if there's an open slot, or he will duel another orc and either take his place or get killed, depending on obviously the power level and just luck. Once again, it's all kind of cool there. Now, the Batman stuff is pure combat. It is exactly the same as Batman Arkham Asylum's combat. For those of you who don't know, you have a punch, a block, a jump, and a stun. And you can also combine two of these buttons to pull off different executions and abilities and throw things and do other kind of fun stuff. It is exactly the same. It's really smooth, really fluid. I actually like the response time a little better in this versus Batman, especially for the counter button. And it's really addicting combat. The only real downside to the gameplay is it is pretty repetitive. I mean, there's only a handful of different kind of power struggles with the orcs, and you're really just going to the same place and doing the same exact thing over and over and over again. So that's the only really downside, is you are going to be doing the same things over again, just like Assassin's Creed games for the most part. But on the whole, the gameplay is very enjoyable. It's very fun, and it's one of the better systems in a game, especially for a game that it's almost about to write off.
I'll be back another time, and you'll be sorry you ever crossed me!
Shadow of Mordor, while not canon and for many good reasons, is still a very good Lord of the Rings game in comparison to some of the other Lord of the Rings games that have come out in recent history. It's fun. It's it's nothing really world-shattering new stuff, but it takes two good systems, combines them, and makes a very solid open-world assassin RPG-esque game. I give Shadow of Mordor Middle Earth a buy rating. That's it for this review. Next week, or this Friday, since I'm posting this Monday, will be Alien Isolation for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and all of the systems other than the Wii U. And that'll be it for this week. Make sure to go to the website. I try to post as much news as I find important enough to post about. So go there, check it out, ruler3.com. Subscribe to our channel to get all the video updates. Like us on Facebook and Twitter, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And thanks for listening. And always remember to trust in the rule of 3.